Hi, everybody. Welcome to the newest edition of the EFT MBA Spotlight, where we get to highlight practitioners that are doing amazing things in the tapping world. And there's just a great story and a great person that you're going to meet today. And her name is Brenda Blair. Thanks for joining us, Brenda.
Thank you for having me.
So let me tell the folks a little bit about you. You have quite an interesting bio resume where you started your journey in going to school for becoming an accountant, took you to poli-sci, took you to peace studies. You've trained with Buddhist teachers, nonviolent communication. You had a psychotherapy practice and workshops in County Clare, Ireland. And you found EFT, integrated into your work, and now you have this wonderful area that you specialize in, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, Brenda, tell us how you ever found this tapping thing.
Okay, so I'm lying in a field in the middle of Ireland, and it's been on a drumming circle camp, and it's been raining for probably 3 or 4 days. And I'm bored rigid, and a friend calls out to me about this woman who's doing a presentation on something called EFT. Was I interested in going? And I'd never heard of it. And part of me just wanted to stay in the tent and not go out into the rain. And another part of me was bored rigid. So I said, okay, I'll go. And I went and I saw Margot Diskin doing a demonstration with somebody, and I was amazed at the power of it. So after that, I went home and I got Gary Craig's DVDs, watched them. And because my practice was in biodynamic and integrative psychotherapy, I had great freedom to introduce other modalities. So I started using EFT in part of my practice. And by the time I finished that practice, I was using it about 80% of the time. It was that effective.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
I was sold on it. Yeah.
So you work in the area of, and I'll let you describe it because it's such a fascinating area to specialize in with EFT.
I'm working helping senior women find love.
Fabulous. So tell us a little bit about your experience in your journey with that particular thing.
Okay, so I met my husband Jack when I was 65, and I was living in Spain at the time. I had burnt out. I'd kind of got a bit burnt out. I was running a healing center as well as a psychotherapy practice, and I needed time out. And I met him when I was 65. And I had, over the years, I was 16 years single. And over the years, I would go through periods of saying, oh, I'd love to have a relationship. And then I'd try for a while. I could, make myself available or go online or something. And it just wasn't happening. And then I'd give up. And then I'd, try again. And what I began to see after a while, particularly where I was, there weren't that many single men. So I was going on dating sites, and I began to see that there was a pattern to what was happening. And so what I saw was that I was attracting the same kind of men. And I was attracting guys who were cheating on their partners, guys who were about to leave their partners but clearly never did, guys who just weren't emotionally available or were commitment shy. So I started to notice this pattern, and I thought, okay, so what's it telling me about me? What am I bringing to the table that I'm attracting these kind of men? And what I realized was that I wasn't available. I thought I was, but I wasn't. What I was I was scared stiff. Because if I went into a relationship, I was going to have to step out of my little comfort zone and the nice little life I'd set up for myself, and all that would get thrown up in the air, and I was scared stiff. So when I got that, very shortly afterwards, I met my husband online.
Oh, wow, that's
Perfect.
Fantastic. And that's how you
And
ended
so,
up in the US.
Sorry?
And that's how you ended up in the US.
That's how I ended up in the US. Yes, I'm in Southern Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah, how fabulous. So I mean, that's just so great. I was talking to you yesterday, and I love the idea that you have all of this experience in online dating, and you're work with clients and the programs that you're developing, some of them have to do with navigating all of that. So what might be particularly like the most common challenges that you see, you know, women of a certain age when they're online, you know, considering doing the online dating thing?
I think the first challenge is just even deciding to do it, because for a lot of women, they don't see a value in it.
Right.
And for me, what I discovered, there was great value in it for two reasons. One, two main reasons, not all of them, but one was that I got to know people in depth, in greater depth than I would if I physically met them. And getting to know them in that way, there wasn't the issue of physical attraction. So that was kind of put to one side. So I get to know this person in a greater depth than if we were just going out on a date and going to a movie or something like that.
Right.
So it took that out of the equation for the time being until we met. And then the other thing was, even if I never had put up a profile, just putting together a profile is so challenging, and it raises all the issues that women have. I mean, when I moved here first, Jack had spread our story on all over Facebook, and women I had never met before would come up to me in the street and say, "I love your story. Oh, it's wonderful. Aren't you so lucky? But you know, I'm too old, or I have wrinkles, or I don't know that I want to disturb my life," or men are only after sex, so they're only interested in younger women. They have all these beliefs about what's out there. And so when somebody starts to put together a profile, they can go and down through each stage of the profile. Who am I? What am I bringing? And what are my fears? Who would I like to meet? What qualities would I like in a man? What vision do I have for a relationship? And tap on all the fears and the beliefs that come up around those. So that they can then get to the point where they're they're free of those and they're open to attracting somebody. So yeah, that's my kind of vision. And so the vision is that I would work with using EFT and then coaching as well, coaching them through putting together profiles, coaching them then once they've got a profile up and guys start replying, what did they do then? And very often a lot of women go, "Oh my God, I've got somebody replying to me. How do I reply? What do I say?"
Excellent. That's wonderful.
So there's so much involved in it.
Oh yeah.
And it's so wonderful. I just imagine somebody in that situation and you can relate to them so well. You've been there, done that, have that, and you know what it's like to be on both sides of that and during the process. And that's so valuable. It's so empathetic and connecting for women that are going through so many of the fears and challenges that I think you just really nailed. Yeah.
Well, I went through most of those myself, you know. And when you've been there, I mean, even to just writing a line about you, the very first line, your little tagline, even just putting that up. What do you say about yourself? How do you put that up? That can be a big deal for people.
And stop them right there in their tracks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Brenda, this all sounds great. How can people find you and reach you and see what you have to offer?
They can reach me at, may I share something else? Just one other thing?
Sure.
Is that okay? Yeah. I just want to say that when I found a man who fulfilled my dream, and he fulfilled it. I had a dream of dancing and going to Granada and dancing in the Alhambra with my beloved at night. And he came to Spain without a word of Spanish, and he made that happen. So it can happen. The men are out there. They are out there. And as somebody said, it's like when two people, they light a beacon, and when they light that beacon, the lights come together and they will find each other when they're ready. So I truly believe that's possible for so many women. And then to come to your question, they can contact me at tappingintoseniorlove.com. Brenda at tappingintoseniorlove.com.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
So clear.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been fun. Thank you.